This is another edition of T.H.E.M.E S Agenda This Week, a special report that focuses on the activities and achievement of the T.H.E.M.E S Agenda of Lagos State Governor. Education, as we all know, remains the only veritable tool of social-economic development and the only legacy worth to acquire, irrespective of race, creed, and gender. Education makes it possible for people to stand out as equal with all the other persons from different walks of life. Overall, education is the platform that makes it possible to defeat all barriers. It is for this reason that governments across the world devote a good chunk of available resources to the development of the educational sector. Lagos, under the present administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is not excluded. Into this special report on T.H.E.M.E S Agenda This Week, Damilare Fagunwa of our News and Current Affairs Department examines the letter E, which stands for education in the T.H.E.M.E S Agenda and progress made in line with vision of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration. Education is described as the bedrock of any society. Lagos, a subnational, has proven its mettle in this way. Upon assumption in office, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu highlighted his 6-point agenda plan with the acronym T.H.E.M.E S, in which the first letter E stands for education. Making education a priority, the governor increased the budgetary allocations for the sector in year 2020 budget to 48 billion naira, an increase of 60% over the 2019 budget of 30 billion naira, as well as the budgetary allocation of 146 billion naira in 2021, an increase of 80% and 171 billion naira in the recently signed 2022 budget of 1.38 trillion naira. Matching words with action, the current administration also declared zero tolerance on the poor state of public infrastructure in public schools, as a special committee for rehabilitation headed by Mr. T.H.E.M.E S was inaugurated and given direction to make sure all defective structures in schools be replaced with new classroom blocks. Confident of the performance of the committee, the present administration also reappointed Mr. T.H.E.M.E S as the chairman to ensure that more work is delivered to enhance the education sector in the state. The marginal increase in the education budget in the last 3 years is a pointer to the fact the Sanwo-Olu administration embarked on the rehabilitation and renovation of 60 public schools, while also improving on other schools' infrastructure. Another landmark achievement of the Sanwo-Olu administration in this sector is the unveiling of a newly constructed school on Tuesday, December 14, 2021 at Elemoro, named Elemoro Community Junior Secondary School in the Ibejuleki axis of the state, with state-of-the-art facilities. At the commissioning, Governor Sanwo-Olu reiterated his administration's commitment towards delivering more infrastructure, ensure that every child in public school has unrestricted access to quality education in a secured environment. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu also recently commissioned a new 180-bed female hostel, a block of 12 classrooms, and other school facilities at the Lagos State Model College in Bokuta. The projects reflect the present administration's continued dedication to quality and equitable education and unwavering commitment to the provision of conducive learning and teaching environment across all schools in the state. So far, the present administration has constructed and rehabilitated over 589 classrooms and 1,568 bed hostels in the secondary and primary schools. These efforts have been complemented with massive innovative programs such as Eco-Excel, Lagos Learns Together, Read Loud, Eco Digital School, and Job Initiative. Lagos is the first state in the country to grant approval of e-learning infrastructure for state-owned tertiary institutions. The launch of the Eco-Excel program is aimed at improving learning outcomes for the children, as well as constant training of teachers with the aid of technology. This has brought about massive investment in the education sector, improved the capacity and welfare of teachers, as well as making the education sector ICT compliant and exposing teachers to international best practices. In addition, through the program, excellence is being driven in learning for about 500,000 pupils across 116 primary schools in the state. Over 14,000 government teachers were retrained and upskilled through Eco-Excel, as leveraging technology will enable teachers and head teachers to be more effective. While reviewing the successes made so far in the last 2 years, Governor Sanwo-Olu pledged further investment in education.
The role of teachers and their influence in the life of every child within the context of emerging reality cannot be overemphasized. Teachers are like the beacon of light, guiding us in the formative years of our life. What we learn from them remains with us throughout our life.
Also, in a show of reward for excellence as a tradition in the state, Governor Sanwo-Olu hosted the winner of the 2020 Spelling Bee competition in the state, 17-year-old Miss Jemina Marcos, a student of Angus Memorial Senior Secondary School, Shomolu, who assumed the duty of the governor for one day. She was accompanied by the first runner-up, Ajose Sotin, of Topo Senior Grammar School, Badagry, and second runner-up, Rema Ede, of Nawaudin Senior High School, Uyingbo. Although the state was not spared from the challenges posed by the global COVID-19 pandemic, which kept students at home for about 6 months. Challenges were turned into strength by the state government by embracing cutting-edge technology to revolutionize the education sector. The Lagos state government also designed interactive radio instruction programs for pupils in primary 1 and 2 called Kokoka and Labegi Rumbo, aired from Monday to Thursday between 9:30 a.m. and 11:55 a.m. on 2 state radio stations, namely Eko FM, Eko 89.7 FM, and Radio Lagos 107.5 FM, to keep the pupils academically stable during the pandemic lockdown, while secondary school pupils in GSS 2 and SS2 also received Android phones to be able to take part in online teachings. The Sanwo-Olu administration also introduced edutainment, the process of entertaining the pupils while also teaching them at the same time to enhance better understanding and a further improvement in teaching and learning abilities of teachers and pupils. Commissioner for Education Folashade Adefisayo said the state government has continued to encourage the development of hidden talents among the students, advising that they should not relent in maximizing their talents, their latent skills, for a productive future.
We are responsible for the quality of education delivery in the state. And so our focus really is on how we can ensure that every child in Lagos gets a good education, because every child deserves to get a good education regardless of socio-economic status, regardless of gender, regardless of where they live, what their religion is or anything. Every child just deserves to get the best possible education.
Education technology just permeates virtually everything we do. It's becoming ubiquitous, and therefore we cannot bring up children who are not tech savvy, because that's going to be the reality of their lives. And to teach children to be tech savvy, their teachers need to be tech savvy. And so I think it's very critical for us, especially when we're talking about the smart city. That means that many things are going to be technology-based, and therefore we want our students and our teachers, our pupils, and everybody to be able to function effectively in this new environment.
Realizing a sustainable approach to the safe reopening of public and private schools below tertiary level, the Education Quality Assurance Lagos State Ministry of Education organized training for school leaders and educators. Director General of Education Quality Assurance, Abiola Seriki Ayeni, said the training was to encourage the leaders to have comprehensive operational, learning, quality health and safety, as well as data and communication plans that will suffice for the safe reopening of schools in Lagos, while it intensified monitoring to ensure schools adhere strictly to COVID-19 safety protocols.
We've created an instrument where we can now evaluate the effectiveness of online learning. So we had certain set of instruments that we're using before that centered on schools. But when COVID-19 happened, we realized that we need to be able to evaluate schools on a different way. What we have is a tool that takes into account the behaviors of the students and the teachers, takes into account how attentive students are, takes into account how the teachers are engaging, and then obviously the content as well.
As schools across the state resume for the second term academic session, the state government has also reassured of its commitment to contain the spread of coronavirus. In line with the T.H.E.M.E.S Agenda on Education and Technology, the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB, put in place modern technologies to improve the capacity of teachers to be more globally competitive. It also put in place teaching programs to greatly support learning through online and electronic media, both television and radio, during the lockdown. Its board introduced innovative ideas that enhance the educational sector with the aim of making school pupils in the state stand out and be confident in any competitions under the watch of its chairman, Wahab Alawiye King. LASUBEB has trained over 2,000 teachers, while over 12,000 others benefited from a virtual training by Microsoft for public primary school teachers. It also collaborated with other agencies to achieve quality education in the state.
The pillar that is relevant to our agency is the number 3 pillar, which is the education and technology. And this administration is very much passionate and determined in 3 or 4 major areas. And that has to do with teachers' improvement in terms of capacity building and manpower development, teachers' welfare in terms of their well-being, improvement in their well-being and their welfare. Another important aspect is the infusion of technology into our classroom, making our teachers to be globally competitive, using the modern techniques in teaching and learning. Another important aspect is the infrastructural renewal of all our premises to teach and to learn in an environment that is conducive, improve the quality and standard of education in the state. Government is very much determined and passionate at realizing these set goals and agenda.
The tertiary institutions in the state were not left out, as the state government ensured that the undergraduates learn in a conducive environment. Government to this end provided funds and embarked on infrastructural renewal programs. The present administration also approved the appointment of chairmen and governing council members of the state-owned 4 tertiary institutions: Lagos State University Ojo, LASU, Adeniro Gusaya College of Education, Lagos State Polytechnic, and Michael Otedola College of Primary Education. The 2 colleges of education and the Polytechnic have been upgraded to universities to deepen tertiary education in the state. For instance, the state-owned university LASU recently ranked high among universities in the country. The Lagos State University emerged second highest of the 6 Nigerian universities ranked in the Times Higher Education T.H.E.M.E World University Ranking for 2021. The latest ranking has emanated from the consistency in the institution's entrenchment of academic excellence, culture of cutting-edge research, and enhanced community service. Also, the present administration, through the Office of the Special Advisor to the Governor on Education, introduced #CodeLagos, the largest #EduTech initiative in Africa, targeting over 1 million residents. As a melting point with a population of more than 24 million, provision of qualitative education in Lagos State has been a daunting task. Some residents react to the ongoing activities and initiatives put in place by the present administration in the education sector in Lagos.
Lagos State government has really done well concerning the education sector for Lagos, giving out phones to secondary school pupils to study and to have online classes. So we just look forward to see him doing it on time. We love this, we love it. Kudos to him.
I'd like to commend our Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, that he actually tried a lot. Even my siblings too was also a participant of the online class that they held. It actually helped a lot. And I also commend them to try more.
My view concerning education sector in Lagos State, there are improvements being made in terms of infrastructure and materials for education. Government too is trying as much as possible to ensure that education is taking another shape with the use of technology. During the pandemic season, Lagos State made availability of online classes for the students, whereby you can access the internet to take some lessons that they are trying, but they should do more.
In terms of the infrastructure in Lagos State concerning the school, they are trying. They are really building more schools. They are renovating more schools, but they still need to do more.
With over 1,000 primary schools spread across the 6 educational districts of the state, over 600 public secondary schools and 4 tertiary institutions, there is no doubt that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration is laying a solid foundation for Lagosians by not only developing Lagos State infrastructure-wise, but also focusing and investing heavily in education, which is the key to the future. On this note, we come to the end of today's special report on T.H.E.M.E S Agenda This Week. We focus on education and progress of the sector in line with the vision of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration. For feedback, you can follow us on all our social media platforms. Twitter at Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe and watch us live on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. You can also download our app, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM from Play Store for more traffic updates. This program is a production of Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I am Abiola Fabulago.